Is that a camera? You don't even know. I'm so nervous.
Oh, there he goes.
My little precious baby.
Oh God, I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm gonna let people into my life like this. I kind of think like, well, take me as I am, because I'm 22 and I'm a recovering alcoholic. That's very uncommon to hear. People say like, hey, I'm 22 and I'm a recovering alcoholic. Like, it's hard for me sometimes because I get insecure that people might think like, hey, is this girl really just a big fucking loser? Like she, you know, like she really hit rock bottom at 22? Like, but then on the other hand, I'm like, hey, screw you, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I hit rock bottom at 22. I didn't have to do it when I was 40 and I had a family that wanted to leave me because I couldn't get it together, you know? I started like losing relationships that were important to me. I started dismissing people that were important to me. I started like pulling away and just diving more into drinking. And it was like a lot, you know? Like most people go out like what, like 2-3 times a week, maybe. I was going out like 5-6 times a week. Oh and gosh. Like that's exhausting. And my body saw it, you know, like I could feel it. I wasn't healthy. My eyes always looked sunken in. Like I just always looked like I was one step away from like having a nervous breakdown. I was surrounded by people all the time. I always had friends to go out with. I was always going to this party, that party, having people in my room. I mean, 20, 30 people coming over to like my pod throughout the night, like just rotating in and out. And I mean, I thought in the moment all of those people were my friends. When the ball dropped and I stopped partying, my phone never rings. Thanks.
So are you excited about going to Philly today?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. We're a little behind schedule. Obviously, we're always behind schedule. But we just started getting ready. So Philly was a tough one for me. It started off rough because we got lost, and then that just kind of got me going with the anxiety. We were walking around the city for a little bit, and that was fine. Everything was fine, taking pictures and whatever. It's the first time I'm gonna be in, the first big time that I was going to like a city to go out and party and stuff like that. And the fact that there was no time schedule that I could kind of follow was driving me insane. So during that time, I was in the hotel room trying to get ready. I was still in sweatpants, whatever. And I was freaking out. So I asked Jen to come with me to go get my stuff from the car. And while I was there, I vomited in the parking lot because I had just had like way too much anxiety going on. It's just like, the thing is that like it's embarrassing to like be an alcoholic, I guess. And like I get embarrassed. And like I know there's no reason to like be embarrassed, but like I really am. And like it's a lot harder for me than like I ever like let on. And then today I just like feel like I like can't do it today. And like these people just know me from being like a crazy mess, and like it's just like embarrassing to like know that that's how people know you. That's why I like avoid like shit like this. I'll be good. Oh, okay.
Someone like you.
Turn me on. Okay. What's your shot? Battlefield.
Yes.
I'm really good at this game. Okay, so what you do for the game is you put a song on and you only play, I think, 10 seconds or 5 seconds of the beginning of the song. And you're supposed to shout out when you know it. So you get the song right, you're supposed to take a shot. Avi, not gonna do that. So I just started calling out shots to other people, like whatever, because obviously I'm not gonna be like, oh my God, no one should drink, but I'm just not gonna partake in that. So I just started pointing it out, like, Jen, it's for you, Cody, it's for you, whatever.
It's the way you love me.
Gina, you're on a roll!
And that was the first time I was thrown into a situation like that. I just kind of like jumped into that game, and I didn't really know like how I was gonna react to it or how I was gonna feel about it until I was just like, yeah, Cody, it's for you. And like just, called out people to take the shots for me. It just made it so much more real and so much more okay with me like going to Philly and exposing myself like that. So that was definitely one of the worst things I've done in this whole experience, but also one of the best things I've done in this whole experience because it sucked, but then it got really great. So that's Philly.
I don't know what you want from me.
You don't want your boobs out.
I knew what was going on and I knew what was happening, and I could see how miserable she was and how she would turn into this monster when she would drink, and I would ignore it. Her personality would go from like, she's like this like fun-loving person to this kind of like aggressive, in your face, like wants to like fight and yell and scream and do things that like she normally wouldn't do, where she's usually this like nurturing, like really like loving person. So that was just like scary for me. So I just felt like I almost didn't know her anymore. I think that she was always everybody else's rock through all of this, and then like alcohol is almost like Gina's rock and like Gina's way to like, I don't know, get out of her issues that she was dealing with.
The one person you would never want to hurt, you hurt them. And like, that's probably the hardest thing I've had to deal with, like, with this whole thing. Is just knowing that, like, there was nothing she could do, and like, it was just, I like let her down.
Me and Gina like shared a cabin on the cruise, and I like don't really like drinking. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't really like to drink. So I went back to my room and like went to bed, and it was maybe 2, 3 in the morning, and Gina came in and she's stumbling in and screaming, and I'm like I wake up and I'm like, Gina, like, can we please just like go to sleep? Like, I'm exhausted. Like, you woke me up. And she's like, you're so, like, just yelling and really angry about like, I'm so lame and I'm no fun and all this stuff. And I went to get my mom in her cabin that was like right next door, and my mom and her boyfriend like came in, and like Gina started screaming at them and screaming that she like hated my mom and hated my mom's boyfriend, which like, no, like we all know it's not true, but
like not even a little bit true.
And it was just like screaming these like really horrible things and like trying to like swing at my mom. I like actually like had to body slam Gina to the ground to keep her from like getting at my mom. So our neighbor actually called like the security, and they wanted to take her and put her in a holding cell on the cruise ship. Like a nightmare. And I literally sat on her bed for like an hour with her like in my arms, like wailing. Like, you have never heard like a grown person crying this much, until she finally like passed out. And I just like let her sleep there, and I sat up until like 7 o'clock in the morning staring at her to make sure she was like breathing and like alive. And then I like went into my mom's room, who like was all like upset about it, and I just like broke down. Which like through all of this, like I didn't cry, I didn't really do anything. And then I went into my mom's room and like completely broke down, and I was like, I don't want to be here when she wakes up, because I'm like afraid of her. Like, now I'm afraid of her. Like, I could deal with her when she was drunk and crying, but now I don't know what she's going to do when she wakes up. So me and my mom went to our room, and Gina left a note and was like, I'm so, like, a little note on my bed saying like, I'm so sorry, like, I understand if you like don't want to talk to me, but like, I'm at the pool. And I like all of a sudden started hysterically crying and like looked at my mom, and I was like, I'll be at the pool. And I like ran to the pool, and like I found her like sitting there, and like she just started sobbing. And at first I was like trying to like be like, it's okay, like stop crying, everything's gonna be okay. And then I finally said like, everything will be okay, but I'm telling you right now, it's either you get your shit together by yourself if you think you can get it together by yourself, you go get help, or you're dead to me, and like our relationship's done. And like that was like, as like horrible as that sounds and as like terrible of a night this whole thing was, like I believe like you have to hit like the bottom to come up from it, and without that I think we all would be pretending this wasn't happening, and she still would be where she was a year ago.
She like saved me.
You thought you saved her. You saved her, you really did. I agree with that too, obviously.
Stop, everything's fine. Oh.
Being addicted doesn't start from just, one day you want to try drinking or one time you want to try doing drugs. You just, as I said, to fit in, and you take them, and you feel like you're having fun, and you feel like it's the only way you can have fun is by taking, a drug or drinking. And then it goes from just being a party thing to being an everyday thing, or being something that you need because you're pissed off, or you're sad, or you're really happy, so let's celebrate. And then it definitely turns into, the real addiction. And you can tell when people are starting to abuse drugs and alcohol when they start having bad mood swings. And other things happen too. You physically look like you're addicted. Your eyes become sunken in, and you start to break out, and you look flush, and you physically look ill almost. Especially if you're not on that drug, you look terrible. You look like a completely different person. This disease, and it is a disease, affects everyone. Drugs don't discriminate, alcohol doesn't discriminate, it can reach and touch anybody. So there's places and things to do, like you can go to AA meetings, you can go to NA meetings. They have various meetings for people who are struggling, and what I do is I try and go to high schools and middle schools and hospitals and speak and tell everyone my story so they know, you can just be some average kid, just trying to get your college degree, and you turn around the next moment and you're an alcoholic or a drug addict.
My dad, from what I know or remember about my dad, or what people tell me, I'm very similar to him in the fact that very outgoing. He had an addiction problem too with alcohol and cocaine, and that was all through, I mean, you can't blame it on this, but he worked on Wall Street. So Wall Street was very fast-paced, and back then you got a company card, and you had to go out and entertain clients, and they were going to Rolling Stones concerts and limos, and he just had to be up for all this stuff. So, I probably adopted a lot of my party girl personality from that. Everybody in the entire world on 9/11 was praying to God that all of these people would come home. Nobody was just sticking a fork in it saying it was over. Like, everybody was hoping for more. My mom had 3 kids. We were all pretty much babies. She brought us into her bedroom that night. There were so many people in my house sleeping over and whatever, but she brought us up there and she said, I asked her, I think, or my brother, one of us asked her, is Dad coming home? And she said, I really don't think so. I struggle with bad things happening to good people. It drives me insane. I just wish all the bad things in the world happened to all the bad people in the world, because God knows there's enough of them. But I think that's where the majority of my anger comes from, is my dad dying. My best friend died of cancer when I was little. Just, there's been some tragic stuff.
Aunt Nancy sat on me in a skirt. In a skirt.
He was on a chair.
She was wasted, and she was.
I thought you were going to say she was wet. No, you do.
So after we went to Philly, I went home and had my birthday party like a month later. That was awesome. I had old friends, I had new friends, I had camera crew, I was like a star. It was awesome. You know, we had beer pong. No, I was playing beer pong. Obviously, I don't drink the beer, so it's water pong, but whatever. You should play with water because beer makes a mess. So, fun fact. There was just so many like great people there. So good to see like old friends coming together with some of my new friends. Also a little bit awkward, which was fun. They heard I was sober but didn't really believe it. So they came, and when they actually found out like, oh, she's sober, they were like, oh, we can't actually give her the bottle of wine for her birthday. Like, shit, you know?
I like drinking, you know, I like to party, I like to drink. I drink socially, I don't drink often at all. But, you know, it's hard, especially in this, like, our age group. She's only 22 years old, 23, whatever, how old she just turned today. And, you know, I don't... 23? I don't know, Gina. Sorry.
Want to wish her happy birthday while you're at it?
Happy birthday.
No, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because that's like, this is the age where everybody just, you're gung-ho about going to bars and partying, and it's the social life. Like, that's the scene, that's what you do at this age.
It's not hard for me to be at my house. It was like, it's hard for me to be in like bars and stuff, but it's not like, to be here and be with you guys, like especially knowing that like my family's here, like, and like you guys are all proud of me, so it's like easy, I don't know, it's like a lot more comfortable than it would be if I was like out at a bar with just random friends. It was important for me to be able to come out and, you know, celebrate my birthday without a bottle of liquor in my hand or without calling out shots and whatever. Just to enjoy myself in my house with my family and with my friends and just enjoy every second of it, not be stressed out about, you know, am I drinking too much, or who thinks I'm drinking too much, or is somebody trying to monitor what I'm doing, or, you know, did I hurt somebody's feelings? Like, all of those thoughts just have completely left my brain. Just running around in all different directions, talking to all these different people and having such an amazing time. Not self-conscious or, you know, just not confident in my own skin. Like, I was walking around owning that party, having a great time, didn't care, you know, who was looking at me or who wasn't looking at me, or, you know, it was just definitely a different party experience, and definitely a better party experience for me.
I knew that Gina was having problems actually a year prior to her approaching me. She had been involved in an incident in her residence hall, and she asked me if I would be willing to write a letter that was a testament to the fact that she is an upstanding citizen. And at the time I said to her, you've got to tell me what's going on. And she did. And I knew that she was trying to confront her demons.
Dr. Guten has known me since I came to Ryder. So my sophomore year, she met me. My senior year, I took her for senior sem. And I went to her at the beginning of it, and I sat down in her office and she said, like, wow, you really look great. Like, you know, and I was like, oh, thank you, you know, like, I lost a little weight, whatever, and just tried to, like, play it off like that. And she was like, no, like, your whole complexion is just glowing. And I was like, all right. And then she kind of, like, lingered on it for a second. And I was just sort of like, yeah, well, you know, like, just so you know, like, I'm 30 days sober today or whatever. I talked to her about the senior sem project when we got our senior sem assignments, and I just kind of said, like, you know, I want to take this opportunity to sort of come out to the class. And she kind of looked at me like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to do that? And I was like, no, like, I really think I can do this. Like, I really think this would be great.
She had untapped potential that, you know, later on when the story emerged, I realized had been blunted by all she was dealing with.
I kind of decided and got her approval for it to put a personal testimony into my project. My project, based on the data, was a decent project. Nothing mind-blowing, but the discoveries that I had within myself from doing this project and talking to different people and collecting different information and forming my own opinions about the project has helped me so much in staying sober and staying committed, and coming out to my class with Dr. Guten's support and with, you know, the support of my friends and family. It was so liberating again, I guess, because this crowd of people was just there to watch me and watch me kind of bear everything.
You know, watching someone who has come so far and is willing to speak about it, boy, that's something special.
So he thinks it's he does like, I know she wants me to do something, I'm just not quite sure what it is. My mom, she's like the greatest person in the entire world. My mom let me know that she was concerned, but never to the point where I felt like she was smothering me. She really made me empowered to do this by myself. It's up to you. The ball's in your court. You have to decide who you want to be and what you want to be, and what relationships are important to you. And then she moved from there.
I knew she was aware of it. She knew I was aware of it. But there wasn't really anything I could do about it. So I had to wait for her to come to the conclusion of, this is a problem, and now I want to do something about it. And finally she did.
Now, there was a defining moment, I know, for Gina. She had told us this when I had the chance to sit down with her and Dana, where Dana kind of gave her an ultimatum saying, you know, if you continue down this path, consider yourself sisterless. As a mother, how does that make you feel to hear that?
You know, as a mother, you have to protect all your kids. So if that was Dana's way of protecting her, I had to admire that. And Dana usually means what she says. So on some level, she would have written Gina off. I could not be more proud of where she was then and where she is now. And the fact that basically she really did it on her own. She really did. And it's not an easy thing to do, but she decided that she was going to do this, and she did it. And I'm so happy for her, and I'm so proud of her, and I'm happy for the whole family, you know, that the girls now have the great relationship that they used to have, and, you know, it's just back to normal, really.
Dear Gina, it's been 258 days since you had a drink. You're graduating college in less than a month, applying for jobs and making decisions about the future, and you're more excited than anything else. Since quitting drinking, you've been a lot happier, more appreciative of what you do have, and way less angry. You have an easier time deciding who and what is important because you're no longer battling a hangover and trying to wake yourself up in the morning. You do silly things again, like lay in the grass with your friends and snap pictures doing stupid things, or go home for an egg dyeing contest with your sister, which you miserably lost at, by the way. Overall, you've changed, not into a different person. It's still the same you. You're just better. More like how you used to be, lighthearted, loud, quick with a witty comment. You talk to Dana so much now it's almost annoying. Mom couldn't be more proud, and the amount of respect you've gotten from your brother has been amazing. People want to be around you again. Your days of loneliness are gone, and you're loving it. Remember not to overwhelm yourself. Remember to stay confident. Remember it's one drink at a time. And remember who you are is a mixture of things. Love every piece of what you've done and every piece of what you will do. This is your life and your journey, and it's not been boring. Keep it up, girl. Love yourself.